to fruition on what he would actually be upset about until now. Now, the gas is going to a certain level, is going sky high, you see what I'm saying? And now all these people are trapped with all these big gas guzzlers. You see what I'm saying? So what he was actually upset about back in the early 1990s is he saw the gas thing that was going to happen, and he knew that these people has become dependent on all these big gas guzzlers. So the point I'm trying to make here is, because I'm not off the subject, they can create a certain situation for you down the line by saying, hey, this is what you need to be driving. This is what you need to be wearing. This is what you need to be doing. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's the same thing with this thing. If they're trying to somehow merge with the DNA, and with this black woman, they figure like this. Now, okay, let me give you an example.
She's the key.
She's the key. Let me give you an example on two aspects of this. In Richard Noon's book, Ice the Ultimate Disaster, he's a big-time master mason out of Georgia. Wrote the book in 1978. And he gave the estimation of certain things that were supposed to happen. As a matter of fact, when he wrote the book in 1978, Ice the Ultimate Disaster, 5/5/2000, the book is somehow obsolete now, but because May 5th already done came. But 2000, but the book, but it's not obsolete because he gave the actual blueprint and the projection and the forecast for what the Masonic community was going to do in the future, the white Masonic community. He gave the actual forecast. He gave the actual projection of what they was doing. He said the first thing they was going to do is they were going to want to retake Africa. Now, the same time that he was giving this forecast in 1978 about them retaking Africa, the second installment of the Omen, remember Damien Omen, and the second one when he was a little boy. But by this time, I think he was a teenager. Because the third one, when he became president, in one of the classrooms, they're talking about retaking Africa during the same time, on that movie, the same time he was writing the book, Ice the Ultimate Disaster. The point I'm trying to make is this. I forgot the point, but anyway, no. No. But anyway, they have this projection. Now, one of the things is this. They said this was the point. They said, well, why would they retake Africa? Well, they said in so many words. They said, well, if anything is going to go down in the future that we're not sure about, they said we'll be most safer on the place that has the origin of the world than Europe. So they said Africa would be, the motherland will be our safe haven. That's why we have to go there before the 2000s. You understand what I'm saying? They said that would be, for some reason they think that they would be safe if they went back to Africa. Well, same thing is happening with the black DNA. They think that basically if they can somehow merge with the black woman, this would be the answer, you see what I'm saying, to all their future prayers and for all their troubles and all their worries. You understand where I'm coming from here? So the key here is motherland, mother woman, black woman. You see what I'm saying? So if there's a return to Eden, they literally want to return to Eden. You understand what I'm saying? So it's got a lot to do with that, and it's got a lot to do with the DNA. Nothing is not, and remember now, this is 2003. When I remember now, Richard Noon wrote his book in 1978. In 1988, the same Newsweek magazine and Time, Newsweek had the same Jerry Curl version of Adam and Eve, black people on there. Everything is everything. You see what I'm saying? Everything is everything. Let me give you an example here. Here's a book, because I want you to get some of your things.
Hey, but let me get it close up, because people need to see these books.
Okay.
You know, okay.
This is the book. They sell it at Borders bookstores.
What's called Armageddon? It's
called Armageddon.
Now.
Armageddon Now. It says the end of the world A to Z.
Hold it up. Let me see it, please. Yeah. Y'all got to get this book because...
By Jim Willis and Barbara Willis.
Jim and Barbara Willis.
Willis. Now, it's interesting here because not only do they, what he did was, the guy teaches comparative religion in some Ivy League school. And although he's a preacher or whatever, he teaches comparative religion, which is key now. He's not just stuck in some sectarian aspect. And he gives you the Hindu version of the end, the Buddhist version of the end, several Christian, the Egyptian. He even uses Albert Churchward, Alvin Boyd Kuhn, and Gerald Massey, which they don't use. He even puts Gerald Massey in here, but this is one of the keys of what I got the book. I picked it up. But this is why I really got the book, because they are real serious about some things. And it's interesting here because I bought the book when I was good. They even got the movies that came out in the 1990s, like Independence Day and the different ones. But this is why I picked the book up. And when I saw this, I said, I got to get the book. Because I had the book, and I took it off the shelf about a couple of weeks before. And then I picked it up again. And when I saw this particular picture of Marcus Garvey in the book, I said, oh man. Because in so many words, what they're saying is, Marcus Garvey on his deathbed said, look for me in the whirlwind. Mm-hmm. Then we get Katrina. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that this year, whatever Katrina was, they're saying going to be 3 times worse.
And also, what they just dropped in the Baltimore Sun, that they expect one to hit Baltimore. By June.
And they've been talking about, now with HAARP and all that, they've been talking about that thing hitting the East Coast and around Baltimore since October, right after Katrina. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at some things on why they do certain things.
And also on top of that, Bob, and we spoke about this one time before, now you think about it, on the attack. Mm-hmm. Now, in Baltimore, because we were the one that broke the exclusive on it about the MK Ultra and the lights.
Yeah.
In Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
And if you go to Baltimore and look at the condition of the people on the street, it is catastrophic. It is unbelievable.
And you just believe, best believe.
And speaking of the word believe, they got the word believe everywhere you go.
In Baltimore.
And everywhere you go, on every street, every building, you got the word believe. Now, what we come to find out is that using the MK Ultra and the light, that works on your subconscious mind, but your conscious mind see the word believe. Yeah. And that's how they got the folks.
You better go get the movie. It's on cable now again. They Live.
They Live.
You got to go get the movie They Live. 1988. What's that? Roddy Piper. Mm-hmm. And Keith David. Mm-hmm. You see, get that movie because that's exactly what's going on. And it's interesting because another thing interesting about Baltimore. They have the Walters Art Museum there, or Walters Art Gallery. And I'm looking at most of the books, and I'm coming up, a lot of my books in my library, I'm looking, and I see profound pictures and stuff, and at the bottom, these pictures are at the Walters Art Museum or the Walters Art Gallery in Baltimore. As a matter of fact, they have one of the pictures of Lakshmi that I've been selling. Mm-hmm. And with the Lakshmi, with the full breast and all that, mm-hmm. They got a statue at the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore of Lakshmi that's very ancient.
Really?
Yes. And so the point I'm trying to make here is there's a lot of stuff that's going on, but this is prophecies on Ethiopia, prophecies on in here on the prophecies that Marcus Garvey talked about, and not only that, there's a new station called a documentary channel. Now you probably have to you have to ask Comcast or if you got DirecTV to try to get this. I know it's on Dish satellite. Mm-hmm. Dish network. It's called a documentary channel, and they're showing documentaries that's been banned by the government for years. Mm. And so they had one that they put out recently on Bob Marley. But they said that this documentary is based on prophecies and philosophies of the Rastafarian movement and Bob Marley's philosophies that was collected by the British government in the 1970s and the early 80s. And they're just putting these things out. The BBC is just putting these things out in the 2000s. Mm. And in so many words, Bob Marley